Thank you, Ross. There is a wonderful opportunity for emerging women leaders who want to learn new skills and step into their full potential as a leader. It's called The Power of Her. It's Ignite Leadership Summit. And joining me now to tell us more is Wendy Glass. She's the founder of Ignite Leadership Consulting. Great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's get into it. So tell me what inspired you to create The Power of Her.
Yeah, so Natalie, there's a couple of reasons why this is such an important topic for me. Part of it is just fact driven. Women are underrepresented in leadership. McKinsey Group does a study every year, and we know that when you look at the workforce, women and men are equally represented until they get to leadership, and then women are starting to fall behind even at that entry point of leadership. And so we can do better, and I feel compelled to be a part of closing the gap.
And women need to be taken seriously in those roles as
Absolutely.
well. That's another whole point. But let's talk a little bit about your personal experience with leadership and what inspired you to do something like this.
Yeah, interestingly enough, it was only about a year ago that I started sharing my story, but I spent my 18th birthday in labor with my son, and I was a high school dropout. And so I knew even at a very young age that I was born to do more, but I wasn't completely sure what that was. And so I was so fortunate throughout my career to be surrounded by some really successful and powerful women who, I wouldn't say that all of my success has been as a result of them, but without them along my journey, I don't know that I would be a CEO with a master's degree and the credentials that I have. And so I just feel very compelled to pay it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the women supporting other women. And we need to see those role models.
Absolutely.
So we can say, well, they did it, I can do it too.
Well, and we rise by lifting others, right?
Yes, that's so true. That's such a good point. Yep. Okay, so let's talk about this summit. This is going to be great. It's a one day only, but you've got a powerhouse of women who are going to be talking about some really key points. And then, let's talk about the names that you've got speaking at this event.
Yeah. So the summit itself, when women make the decision to invest in their development, there's some pretty important, just basic leadership things that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to start the day off talking about our purpose. Like, why are we in leadership? Why did you make that decision to go into leadership, or why do you want to go into leadership? And then we're going to connect our personal values with that, because what's important to us impacts how we show up as a leader. We're going to really focus on establishing trust. Sometimes we think trust is either it's there, it's not, and actually trust is about 4-dimensional. And so we've got a really powerful leadership coach that'll be joining and facilitating a session on being a trusted leader and how do you use the trust to navigate conflict in the workplace, because it happens.
Oh, absolutely.
We all have drama in the workplace.
That's where most of it happens.
You're
in the
exactly
workplace,
right. And it's a lack of trust that often leads to that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about being that trust leader. We'll talk about maximizing our capacity. One of the biggest challenges I hear from women, and I'm guilty of it, and you may be too, is we overextend ourselves.
Yes.
We think we have to be all things to all people, and you don't.
Yeah.
And so we're going to teach the women who join us how to say no, how to build better boundaries, and then respect the boundaries that we set for ourselves. And then we're going to wrap up the day, and I'm really excited about this session, but we're going to talk about our leadership presence. Yeah, I've spent 10 years in executive leadership in corporate America with a Fortune 500, and I can't tell you the number of conversations I would have in the boardroom about leaders who they had the knowledge and the skill, but when they showed up and started talking, their presence didn't instill trust.
Right.
Or confidence. It didn't really build that confidence.
Right, yeah.
And so we're gonna teach the women there how to just command respect in the boardroom and beyond.
Yeah, and sometimes it's all about confidence, feeling confident in yourself. We don't have a lot of time, but I do want to mention some of your key speakers. Let's name just a few for us.
Such a powerhouse lineup of women. So we've got Coach Megan Duffy, the Virginia Tech women's basketball coach. We are so thrilled that she's committed to coming and just being a part of this program. Caitlin Skaggs is our keynote, who you all know well. She is a friend of WDBJ. Angela Joyner, she's an executive leader with Radford University, but she's also a best-selling author and national speaker. And then, of course, I'm very proud to have some other leadership experts to join me in the facilitated professional development pieces.
Yeah, so there's going to be an opportunity for question and answers, and if somebody's in the audience really wants to ask a question, they can do that.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
The one thing that I absolutely believe as a leadership coach and a development expert is lecturing adults doesn't work.
Yes.
And so everything that we do in my day-to-day work, but particularly at this conference as well, it's going to be interactive.
Right.
They're going to learn things. They're going to have an opportunity to practice it and make it tangible leadership skills they can take back and the very next day apply to how they're showing up as a leader.
I love it. I love it. All right, well, here's the information on your screen. It's Friday, September 20th, but act now because the early bird special is happening today and today only. And I understand that the seats are selling fast. So get online, igniteleadershipcoach.com. Just go right there. You're going to pop up. That's going to prompt you to register, right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you
and
for
best
having
of
me.
luck. And thank you for empowering women, lifting us
you.
up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.